What up, though? You already know how it goes. Smash, like, subscribe, comment. I don't care what you comment as long as you comment. Excuse this camera. Had to get mine fixed. Apparently, it take 3 days to fix the motherboard or something like that. So I got to make way with this, man. It's been a hard week. But let me get right into it. Question is, can I speak on the Nation of Islam in prison? Okay, well, the Nation of Islam, let me tell you how you identify the Nation of Islam. The brothers have their beards cut off, naked, butt naked face. They make fun of the brothers behind their back and call them the rape faces, but we take the Nation of Islam serious. They're very, very militant group. I think they're more militant than the Melanics. The Melanics probably just a little bit more vicious, but they super, super militant, super organized. They always got treasury going on, some money getting made. And the brothers really, really stick together. You know, they had their clothes super crispy. It's not even no spray starch in prison, but it's like they got special access to it. It's just super crispy. Shirts tucked in. Usually old school prisoners only tuck their shirts in. But them guys, they'll tuck their shirt in no matter how young they are, no matter how old they are, their shirts be tucked in. They really, really look out for each other. They, salam alaikum, black man. They might throw up the palms or rock the palms, say salam alaikum. And then somebody will refer wa alaikum salam. A lot of GDs go to their services. If they're not Sunnis, they go to Nation of Islam services. Also, the Melanics go to Nation of Islam services these days because they got theirs suspended. I don't know if it's going to be indefinitely, but they definitely seem like it's going to be that way since the little incident that took place with those guys. I think in '99 at Earth when they beat up the police. So yeah, the Nation of Islam, they got X's on their names. So be Dre X, TX. They speak very, very well. They articulate themselves very well. Their oratory game is on point. On point. If you're not stable in what you believe in, if you're not easily manipulated, if you easily manipulated or you're not stable in what you believe in, them guys' tongues so silver, they'll talk about your belief system ASAP. Very, very racist group of guys. You know they don't like the white guys. The white devil this, the white devil that. To be honest, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you. I bet if a white woman wanted to write one of those guys or date him while he was in the joint or be with him when they get out and support them until they get out, I bet they'd be with him. I be hating when people just like, man, the power of a woman is different, especially when you're incarcerated because you appreciate them a little bit more. So I know damn well they'll make that exception, but that's what they believe in. That's what they get on you about. I used to have the white girls post up in my room on the wall. They used to tell me about it all the time, but it is what it is. I like what I like, and ain't nothing changing now. I like all types of women, so every type of woman gonna be on my wall. I think I said it all. They, salam alaikum, they got the X's on their name, faces bald, shirts and stuff real crispy. I love how they say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us. You know, you can ask them how much water in the world and how far is the Earth from space or gravity. Like they know all that stuff, man. They have a bunch of information. I don't know how useful it is, but when it comes to conversation with those guys, trust me, they're going to do their research. They definitely going to do their research. They definitely support their brothers. If you ain't did nothing outright crazy, they're not just going to feed you to the wolves like a lot of guys. And even when they don't have the numbers, they're going to stand up for what they believe in, and they not parting ways with it at all. They really, really believe what they believe, and a lot of them going to die for their cause and their principle. They bring in a lot of good guys, a lot of guys that's really, really about that life, and they don't need the Nation of Islam for no protection. So you got genuine guys in the Nation of Islam. That's why their numbers are not huge. Because, a lot of other organizations that let anybody in, they get the numbers. That's where people want to go, usually. It's just how it is. But they definitely respect it on the yard. Like I said, they probably the most militant group overall. Yeah, they probably the most militant group. Moore's probably the most organized. Melanics probably the most vicious. But the Muslim groups, regardless, move as one. You never really see no internal beef in the Nation of Islam. I never seen it, but I seen them boys stand up for a brother that was wrong. But they say, hey, look, don't touch my brother. We'll punish him. And they wouldn't accept all the problems. The Nation of Islam willing to accept all the problems that come with whatever brother. They gonna take them on. If it's from the past or whatever, as long as it's not nothing, along the lines of like homosexuality and, maybe you told on another inmate, they might toss you to the wolves then, but pretty much you have to do something pretty messed up for them to not support you and back you up. The Nation of Islam, their leader at the moment, the successor, or I don't think he was the immediate successor, but Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is who took the organization after the Honorable Holy Dear Apostle Elijah Muhammad departed flesh. I believe his son got it for a while, but then a faction broke off and went with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he kept it pushing. Those guys' finances, they doing the best out of the Muslim groups outside the Sunnis. I'm talking about the world. It's more Sunnis, of course. They consider the traditional Muslims Sunnis, and then Shiites the second, and hundreds of other Muslim sects. But the Nation of Islam outside the Sunnis, I think, doing the best financially. They really have an infrastructure to gain capital, bro. They built upon a great foundation. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been all over the world discussing things with Muslim leaders of all nations, and even talking to Christians. And so he really put it down, and he really had an advantage because he got to see the blueprint from the Moabites Temple of America. All of them, then they took it and built upon it even more. So whatever group coming up after that, you should be better than the Nation of Islam at the end of the day, because you got two big powerhouses to learn from their mistakes and learn from their, the pros and cons. You got a chance to study that whole blueprint. But they doing very, very well out here. They own land, farms, animals, farm animals. They doing their thing out here. That's if you want to get into business and learn business, you go to them. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Mullanics too, they're very, very good at business, man. Very good. But the Nation of Islam definitely winning. Very, very disciplined. Their dietary laws is crazy, and a lot of people follow it too. They don't eat meat. They don't eat red meat. They don't eat pork. They are the real deal. I got nothing too bad to say about the Nation of Islam. The only thing I really like about the Nation of Islam, to be honest with you, is how racist they are, and two, I don't like how they speak about the white man and Christianity and so on and so forth, but every other word out the minister's mouth refers back to the Bible, which is the so-called white man religion, and it's been tainted. Out of their own mouth, I heard it's been tainted. So if it's been tainted, why would you, use most of your quotes out of there? I feel like if you don't mess with it, you just don't mess with it. But sometimes we got to decipher the truth out of lies. But then when you do that, it's left up to the interpreter to relay the message. The Holy Quran of Mecca, of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him also, that's supposedly never been tampered with or tainted. So I would think most of your references will come out of there, but the Bible was such a powerful thing because I believe it was wrote by poets. So the things that the Bible are saying, it captivates you a little bit more to an extent. But when you go from the Bible to the Quran, it's like going from soft porn to hard porn. Like, it's different. Soft porn used to be good when you first started off, but once you seen the real thing, maybe that was a bad analogy talking about Muslims and guys. Maybe that was a bad analogy. I don't know, right? But that's what came to my head, man. Like I said, I freestyle and stuff, and this is what I really believe in. I don't need to really write too much down. If I know it, I really live it, and it's not a lot of stuff to say. But excuse the background. Like I said, this phone, the noise reduction thing don't work well, none of that stuff. So please excuse me for that. But overall, once again, Nation Islam is a place you want to go to learn. Even if you don't join, it's a place to learn, to give you self-dignity. They really high on the black man. They also, the 5%ers are an extension of the Nation of Islam. Now, a lot of 5%ers are not the Nation of Islam, and a lot, and some are. But don't get those two confused in the ideologies and things like that. But black man being God is one of them that I know that most of the black Muslim groups, the Asiatic Muslim groups, believe in. Overall, man, I get a Nation of Islam a strong out of 10. I give them a strong 8.5. Just on the way they move, the way they militant, the way they stick together. I give them a 9. Excuse me, I give them a 9. Strong 9. Strong 9. And for such little people, for such a smaller amount of people that's on them prison yards, they are powerful as far as just making an imprint, just putting a stamp down. They're very respected. People of the Nation of Islam. The Moors in the nation used to beef a lot back in the day, and get into the Moors used to get into it with the Melanics in the nation. So it'd be a little underlying tension. You'll hear the little slick comments here and there. You'll see them trying to recruit each other people, and it's a little bit different in the ideologies. Like the Nation of Islam say black man. Moors don't believe in the word calling another man black because according to science, black mean death. Can a man be colored? No, colored mean painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. And they use some of those words and don't change them up. But overall, it's the same goal. It's just to get to God Allah, a higher place of thinking, uplifting people of pigmentation. But outside, like I said, outside the racism, outside the references to the Bible after criticizing it, and I think that's about it. Them boys never wrong either. They don't like being wrong. They don't even participate in debate until they what's the word, indoctrinated until they well aware of what they have and what it means. Because if a person not founded in what he believe in, you can manipulate them to believe other things, to have other or oppose ideologies and move them. But when you know what you know, can't nobody take you off that. Once you founded in what you believe in, can't nobody take you off that at all. Now, if NOI members see this video, I got some questions for y'all. I want to know, did the Nation of Islam members really have something to do with Malcolm X's assassination? I want to know, at one point in time, was really white people allowed to join? I also want to know, does the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan have a successor already picked? That's what I want to know. And let's create conversation from there. Peace and blessings be to y'all. Big 5.